I'm wondering if you can hear me above these amazing sounds we're getting from these baboons here. Apologies for the slightly late start there. I am present, and thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. That was a lovely opening there with those baboons, and what amazing... Oh, there's some serious discussions going on here. Hi, welcome to today's show. This is a really nice demonstration of communication here from these baboons. We would sometimes think this would be an alarm call, or it does sound like a large male making his presence known. But baboons, I have some baboon homework to hand in. But firstly, my name is Kelly, and I'm with you for the next couple of hours. We will be perusing these cameras to see what we can find. You are all very, very welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Please do remember, this is live and interactive. We are live and interactive for the full 2 hours, hopefully. So please do send in your questions, your comments, your thoughts. You can either contact us via WhatsApp at Wild Earth on X, Facebook Wild Earth Live, Instagram Wild Earth Official, or on our YouTube channel at Wild Earth. You are all very, very welcome. Banterat, back for another Thirsty Thursday. Thirsty Thursday indeed. These baboons are enjoying this lovely clean water here at this inlet at the Lady Bush Lodge in the Kruger National Park. And I did spend some time doing a bit more research yesterday. We had lots of questions about baboons yesterday, and the most interesting information, I spent quite a lot of time reading around whether or not baboons use tools. I know lots of the great apes have been recorded regularly using tools. It seems baboons have, there was a recent study done on some baboons in Gorongosa, so Chacma baboons, the same baboons as we're seeing here. They will sometimes use objects, not so much sort of dexterous, intricate tool use like we know very well from chimpanzees, but they will use objects. There have been incidences of using objects to process food. There's some serious discussions going on here with this troop. There was an incident that was recorded of a baboon using something to rake food up. But it doesn't seem, and you know, they're very dexterous with their hands. They will unwind wire to open bins. There have been many cases of baboons using door handles to open doors. Is that tool use? It's basically, it's not unheard of for object manipulation, but not quite as sort of specific tool use as we are aware of in chimpanzees. And it does seem that juveniles are more inclined to use objects for things. Look at them in here. Than adult baboons, which is unsurprising really. But to me, if it was actual tool usage, it would be the adults that would be more dexterous and more adept to using those tools. But check these guys. It's all like kids at a paddling pool. Are they going to jump back in there again? it's like that. I think there's some sort of discussion going on with the grown-ups, and they've left the kids there. So be careful. But you can stay at the pool a bit longer. Who's supervising these children? Johan Oberholtz. I still can't get that right. Johan Oberholtz. I apologise, Johan. The bird whisperer. That's debatable. But yes, I am indoors today after my mamba incident yesterday. I am inside. It's far too distracting outside at the moment as well for me. There's so much happening in the garden, and I find it very difficult to concentrate on what I'm looking at on the screen. So I have relocated to safety today. So there will be no... if you hear birds today, they're going to be definitely coming from the cameras. Shelley, you're asking why was that water red? It's an algal bloom. It's algae that develop in the water. It's when the temperatures change. It also has variation when we get rain, which I'm sure they have had here. So it's a plant. It's an algae. Granny, you are asking which baboon species washes its hands and feet in urine? I don't know of a baboon species that does it. Maybe they do, but the primate I know that does that are bush babies. And it's rather than washing, I believe it's more used for territorial marking. So they will urinate on those little sticky hands and feet, and it acts as a territorial marking. So rather than scent spraying, they will urinate on their hands and feet and then pat them around their territories. I'm not aware of a baboon species that does it, but I'm not saying that there isn't. Melanistic marble, you've only seen elephants drink from that charming vessel before now. These baboons are making excellent use of... What is that? Oh, lovely zoomies. That is a baboon poo, by the looks of it being heavily utilised by dung beetles. And that's a great image of those feet rushing past. That, I'm sure that looks like baboon poop. And there are indeed dung beetles that will also utilise carnival scat, I believe. There are hundreds, thousands of species of dung beetles, and they all have their own little niche. But there are multiple different species here using or investigating this baboon poo by the looks of it. I'm not even going to try and tell you which species of dung beetles they are. Oh, that one's incoming rapidly. Oh, too rapidly. It will actually be interesting. Maybe we should come back here before the end of the show and see how much of this poop is left. Oh, incoming. Wow, that looks like it's sped up. Oh, it's attached. That's quite unpleasant. That baboon has obviously been eating something stringy, which is preventing this dung beetle from removing. Look. Shame, man. He can't roll it away. They are dung beetles. Well, look, there's even a tiny one on the right. I'm pointing. There's a tiny one on the right here with a teeny tiny little bit of poop that is taken away. That is hilarious. Look, that. Why can't I take this away? What's blocking it? Oh, this is carnage. Oh. I'm wondering if those baboons might try and nibble on those dung beetles. It might be quite crispy, but you get... Have they managed to break that apart now? Wow, look how quickly this pile of poop is being dismantled. Oh, one's fallen over. See, they've managed to split that. So they will these dung beetles will take this. Dung beetles handle poop in different ways. Probably the best known ones are they will grab a piece and then roll it, and then they will bury that ball of poop, and it will either... Often the female dung beetles will lay eggs in there, and then because they get splashed by those baboons in the pool. The female dung beetles will lay eggs in that delightful ball of nutrition, and those larvae will hatch and then utilise the nutrients in that poop to nourish themselves before they hatch. I think they'll also use it, not necessarily, I don't think it's always used as natal food resource. I think it can also be used by non-larva. But yeah, dung beetles are absolutely fascinating. They do an amazing job of quick clear-up operations, as we can see here. That poop has been dismembered very quickly and is being flung. And even this, see, this is another way, if baboons or something have been eating plants or seeds, rather than those seeds all staying in the one place, they will be rolled to different locations. Those seeds will be placed in different areas because these dung beetles have been relocating the poop. Look, oh, this is so cool. There's a big fire happening over that good bit there, look. Oh, get out of it. That poop's mine. Look at that, there's like 5 on that bit there. Mr. HUAE 1987, today is your birthday. Thank you so much for joining us on your birthday, Mr. HUAE, or maybe it's Huey. But either way, thank you so much for spending your birthday with us. You are always appreciated, and thank you for spending your birthday watching poop fights. Unusual, but absolutely brilliant in my opinion. Rowan, you're asking, do female baboons ever give fake alarm calls? Let's leave these dung beetles to continue their mission, but maybe we should come back here before the end of the show and see if there's any sign at all of this poo left. Rowan, you're asking, do female baboons ever give fake alarm calls? It's not so much, I can't see a reason particularly for baboons in the same troop for giving fake alarm calls. They could be shouting like that to communicate, but it would be a bit like The Boy Who Cried Wolf if baboons fake alarm called. Everyone will go, oh no, there's the thing, and the female will go, ha, and you're joking, which doesn't really benefit anyone. There are some bird species that I know will use alarm calls to suggest that there's danger present, and other birds will leave, and then they go in and steal the food. I've never heard of baboons doing it, but that's not to say it wouldn't happen. So that's a very interesting question. Melanistic marble, happy dung beetles too. Yes, they were loving that pile of baboon poop. Vic Do they use scat as well? There are some species of dung beetles that also utilise scat, so carnivore poop. For sure, and I'm sure they've all got different species, have got different preferences. We do more commonly see dung beetles on herbivore scat, but I've seen them on domestic dog poop. So we do know that scat is also utilised by dung beetles. Some fairly rotund looking female impalas here at Victoria Falls. The babies have started in earnest down here in the low veld. They are so cute. Every year I forget just how adorable those baby impalas are. They're tiny and they look so fragile. It amazes me that any of them even survive. Tiny, skinny little legs. You see them running if something makes them jump, and they bolt through the bush on those tiny, skinny little legs. Their legs can't be any thicker than my little finger. And the way they bolt through the bush and over rocks, and yeah, it's incredible how any of them survive. Many of them don't, but as a rule, more survive than don't, because that's how nature works. Check all the grass coming up everywhere now. It's such an amazing time of year. You forget just how much life is here. And it's actually been really nice for me sitting outside, listening and just spending a couple of hours sitting outside and being reminded just how much is happening right in front of our faces. And wherever you are in the world, I know in England I actually caught some of it the year before last. Spring Watch is an amazing show that's on in the UK. Let's go across to King's Camp. I know we had some beautiful elephants there yesterday. But we've been seeing some really nice things across at that King's Camp hide, across at that beautiful hide there. They've got oh wow, there is a big elephant party here today. We had a hyena here a little while ago that was removed by some elephants that turned up, but look at this tiny one. Look at this little guy. Oh, life is everywhere. But yeah, I know in the UK, I'm not sure what other countries they have it or have a similar show on. But in England it's called Spring Watch, and the way the earth just comes alive with everything from plants to grasses to trees to insects to birds, all the way through to animals. It's just glorious. Look at this little elephant having a good old dip there. Wow, that's a nice close up of that trunk. Why that camera? Melanistic marble, yes, it was looking super green there at Vic Falls. It's amazing how quickly everything sprouts. We had a huge rain dump here on, it was like the 14th, I think. So it's like less than 2 weeks ago, and everything has changed colour. There's a green wash. It looks like someone's been sprinkling green paint all over the ground everywhere. Onyx. That's a brilliant question. Why do older elephant sisters and aunts constantly touch and babysit newborns? That one is tiny. We often see younger females around little ones. There is an element of practice in there, it's believed. They're not mothers yet, but getting some practice in for when they are. It's believed. Oh, that one's very small. And older elephant sisters and aunts. It's, what's the phrase? It takes a village. It's strong family bonds. It's that activation of the care system. The care system is one of the systems in the emotional brain of animals, and it's exactly what it sounds like. The care system is a positive thing. When those areas of the brain activate, it feels good. The same goes for all mammals. It feels nice to care, to give attention. It's supportive, maybe giving mum a bit of a break. It's the same as a group of females would help care for little ones in any species. Let's go across to Lentora. It looks like these elephants have finished their paddles and drinks for now. Violet, you are asking, what is the cutest sound a baby elephant makes when it's excited? Cuteness is in the eye of the beholder, I guess, Violet. It depends on what you find cute. But I suggest keeping an eye on all these cameras and keeping your ear open and listen for cute baby elephant sounds and make your own minds up. That looked like, I'm just going to grab my Great Big Bird Bible, that looked like a superb starling to me. I have not been birding before in the Great Rift Valley, but what a luxury that I'm able to participate using these cameras. That one at the back is a virtual starling. No, a superb starling. And this one at the front, I want to say birch but birch have a dark eye. So this looks like a birch. Could it be a no? It's not. That tail's not long enough for me. Let me have a look at my starlings. If it was in South Africa, I would be much quicker. Wow, there's like 50 starlings in here. Let's look. So yeah, I think those the ones with those russet chests are superb starlings. So that was starling colour. He had a pale eye. Wow, there's pages of starlings. They look like morning doves to me. Everyone's coming for a drink. You often find doves will be more active in the heat of the day than lots of the other birds, because it's believed they've got a sort of almost a special layer of down that helps with temperature regulation. You'll often hear doves calling. That looks like an emerald spotted wood dove that's just come in, that one on the left. I'm still trying to find this starling. No, all gone. Often when it's very, very hot, you will hear those doves still calling, still active, despite the super intense temperatures. Let's go to Tembe while I continue to try and find out what's Elephant Park and see what visitors we have there. Ah, lovely. And I've got a feeling that starling that we just saw. Wow, there's a lot of starlings. If anyone actually knows, please do confirm one way or the other. Zoomies, I could use your help. But that almost looks like a rupal starling to me. A large, long-tailed, glossy starling with pale eyes. And it looks like the demographic is right, the distribution is right, because it had a longish tail, but very clear and white eyes. So I might shout for a rupal starling for that one. If anyone can help me, I would be delighted. Yeah, the distribution looks about right. Oh, it looks like they've found a nice muddy puddle across there, over at the back. I'm often surprised by how relaxed all these bulls are together. They don't normally, as long as everyone's, respectful, they often share very nicely here at Tenby Elephant Park. Hazel, you're asking, why do old bull elephants sometimes have broken or worn down tusks? Use, basically, Hazel. Over time, tusks work hard. More often for gathering food, or finding food, or shredding bark off of trees, or pulling up roots. They're very functional tusks. They're not for show. And the older an animal is, the more time that animal will have spent working those tusks. They're used regularly. So the older an animal is, the more likely those tusks are to be worn or broken. Of course, bulls will also use tusks for interactions with other elephants. I don't really like the word aggression anymore. I've gone off the word aggression a little bit, because ultimately it's I normally use the word they're demonstrating aggressive behaviour. So I will say male elephants often interact with other male elephants over breeding rights or reproductive availability, or whatever it is, and they can snap or break during those interactions. I think tusk strength can also vary diet and developmental nutrient availabilities. So maybe some elephants in some areas have less strong tusks than others, meaning they're more likely to break or snap. I wonder if it could have something to do with environmental conditions. If there has been drought or food availability is hugely reduced, they might try harder to acquire resources than if there was resources readily available. So maybe that could have an impact on whether or not tusks have been snapped or broken. A friend of mine once said that if you see an elephant, an adult male elephant or any adult elephant with very, very broken or snapped or worn down tusks to give them a bit more space, because there may well be a reason that he has done so much damage to his tusks, interacting with other things or entities in a harsh fashion. I don't know how true that is, but a friend once suggested that that might be the case. So that was a very long-winded answer, Hazel. But it's basically use coupled with external environmental factors. You do quite often find elephants have they almost wear a notch towards the end of their tusks, where they will use the tip of their tusks for pulling grass and things, and it wears away that ivory. It's very, very hard, but ultimately it can be worn down with repetitive use. And Spas, you're asking, at what age do elephants' tusks harden? They're always, as far as I was aware, they're always hard. They grow hard. They don't sort of come out soft and then harden up as they age. As far as I was aware, anyway, they're like teeth. Well, they are teeth, basically. So I think they're hard all the time. It's very peaceful here at Tenby today. Nice and flush with grass. The other, there was two other bits of homework that I needed to check on. One was, do male baboons snatch infants to increase their status in a group? I did some reading. Again, it's difficult to like know. I think I know where the question came from. Juvenile males will sometimes, well, it's believed they will take babies to, but the more time I spend thinking about it, looking into things, we assume that that's what's happening, but we can't ultimately say, excuse me, baboon, why did you take that baby? And it can't say, well, I thought if I took the baby, it would make me more appealing. So it's quite subjective, but I think I know where the question came from yesterday. It's believed that having an infant present is sort of a positive thing. And the other question that I spent some time digging around in was, do birds camouflage their eggs by rolling them in sand from mounds?
We'll see you out on safari.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Most people that know me really well call me Max. I'm a mum. I have two boys. One is 16 years old and one is 14 years old. I'm a very, very proud mama of my two boys. I've just always been passionate about leopards. I'm passionate about their conservation. I'm just passionate about everything to do with leopards. I love them.
Morning everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Wow, that was amazing everybody.
Apologies, I think I might have disappeared briefly then. But we've got a beautiful jacana here. I love the feet of these birds. These feet. apologies for these tech issues that we seem to be having today. I'm sorry we missed that amazing Jacana feat. It's very peaceful here at Tenby today. Lots of impala enjoying the water's edge. I'm just wondering if we've ever seen a crocodile in here. Just trying to remember if I've ever seen a croc here. I don't think I have. I'm not sure if anyone else has seen a crocodile in here before. This that looked like that one elephant was just asked to move over a little bit. Let's give him a little bit more space. Nova, you are asking how many males does the average female jacana mate with at the same time? I've got absolutely no idea. But let me... I'm just going to have a look in my bird app here. I've got no idea how many an average female mates with. Somewhere, and I'm not looking at this, I've got a feeling they might display lek behaviour. I don't know. I have no idea how many an average female, how many males an average female jacana mates with at one time. I suppose that's going to depend on how many males are present in the area. And Ruby, wow, there's some really interesting questions coming through today. Ruby is asking, how does a female jacana mark her males so other females know they are taken? That's not normally a thing you see in nature. I would imagine they are... I don't know how a bird would mark a male bird as belonging to a female bird. I don't know. I don't know the answers to those very detailed jacana questions. No, I don't know. The way it normally works in birds is males secure the females. Males, depending on the species of bird, will secure a territory, and females will be in that territory, and that is how the females are claimed. But I have no idea how a female jacana would mark a male jacana as belonging to them, unfortunately. It looks like these elephants are almost taking it in turns. To use these pans, and I'm sure they're probably coming here for mudding experience, rather than drinking. I'm sure the water in the main dam is probably more consumption appropriate. Ah, lovely. Julian Thomas, thank you so much for confirming my RuPaul's Starling identification. I'm quite pleased with identifying that. It wasn't on the screen for long, but I remembered seeing that very pale eye. We see lots of orange eyes in starlings, but I certainly none of the starlings in my normal area of operation have that pale eye. So thank you very much for confirming that. I'm quite chuffed with that. Eagle Lover, hello Eagle Lover. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you have joined us. And that's a really good question, Eagle Lover. You're asking, how does it affect elephant families that are relocated? Moving any animal from its home turf can be stressful, right from even domestic dogs all the way through to elephants. It's confusing, it's frightening, and as we know, elephants they're emotional animals, they're sensitive animals, they're intuitive animals, as most animals are, and it will take them. It would help more if a whole family is relocated, because at least they've got each other. But animals are also quite adaptable, and if they have everything that would be required, so they've got good food resources, they've got good water resources, they've got space, they haven't got lots of disturbances, like if they're not plopped down in the stupid thing to say, but in the middle of a town or something like that, if they've got space to move and pick up, they often do, as long as they've got the things they need to do so. But it's emotional upheaval. I know I've never worked with sedated elephants. I've worked with sedated rhino before, but it's a big undertaking, sedating big animals. I would say possibly the most significant impact it would have would be the risk of sedation. Elephants are obviously huge, and laying down for extended periods of time can become problematic for them. And like any animal, Eagle Lover, it would take time to readjust to an area. They would possibly explore boundaries. As we know, elephants aren't territorial, but I'm sure they would want to know the limits of their range. So it's an emotional and physical upheaval, really, Eagle Lover. They'd probably be frightened, they'd probably be confused, but maybe if they were being relocated from somewhere that was not appropriate, so if they had bizarrely ended up in the middle of a busy town where they were being chased and all the rest of it, it might even have a positive impact on them, because they were in a better place that was better suited to them. Oh, more birding. Right, they look like firefinches, and possibly I almost want to say yellow-throated petronia, but that's a wild stab in the dark. Oh gosh, not what that was. But these do look, they almost look like Jameson's firefinches to me. That looked like some sort of weaver maybe. Oh, there we go. That looked like a female weaver, and there's the male weaver. That might be could that be a quilia at the back? That sounded like a parrot. Wow, this is intense birding. Yep, so that's one of the yellow weavers. I actually had some lovely sightings of village weavers in Kruger the day before yesterday. It can sometimes be a little bit challenging identifying these yellow weavers. You have to look at the eye colour, you need to check their cap stretch, so how far or how much black or yellow they've got on the front of their heads there. It definitely look like firefinches, but I'm not sure which firefinches we actually find up here, but we can check. 6, 7, 8. Maybe the... Oh, we lost our firefinches. I'm going to confirm that they were firefinches, but yeah, I'm probably going to stick with Jameson's firefinches, I think. Wow, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 10 firefinches. Oh, look at those, beautiful. They are indeed beautifully appropriate. See that? That almost looks like a red bill. Maybe we'll go red billed on that. Gorgeous crimson colours. 6 is that? Red. Could it be a black-bellied firefinch? No, those wing coverts are slightly wrong. Gorgeous colours on these birds. I'm trying to just...
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh! Whoa! This is action-packed.
Would you like to know what an elephant's favourite food is? You could ask me questions like that in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive from the heart of Africa. The Fortunas over here. Watch Safari Live and connect with nature.
Ria, you say the best kind of roadblock? Absolutely. Look at this.
Hello, girls.
these zebra enjoying this pan here at Serengeti with a very small one. Part of this group. It was interesting seeing those. We had those waterbuck in there with those zebra. And this one who's drinking now looks like she might be pregnant, but that was a very small zebra as part of this group here up at Serengeti. Look at those reflections. Some of the reflections we see on these cameras are absolutely stunning. Reflections on the water. Apologies for any... Oh, we've got our water back again. Apologies if we've been struggling with my talking on occasions today. Wildlife Lady, hello, thank you for joining us. You are always welcome, late or otherwise. Indeed, we've got some lovely birding up there in East Africa, but I know all of the birds we saw there, but I doubt my workings because I have to think whether or not those bird species actually occur in that area. I do normally sit during this show with my ginormous bird book. It's lovely to have you all joining us today. Please do get in touch if you have not participated in the conversations before. You are all very, very welcome. So yes, lovely birds at Lentoro, but out of my normal jurisdiction, but I'm learning. It's one of the joys of being able to sift through these cameras, is there's lots of things and lots of species that I've never seen before. And it's a great opportunity to practice, to check my birds, to learn new lizards. Those amazing Spider-Man lizards that I think it's actually here, we see him often. Those flat-headed rock agamas, something that we wouldn't be able to see, or I wouldn't be able to see without these cameras, and I'm sure many of you that are joining us today are also seeing things that would not otherwise be possible if it weren't for these fabulous cameras. These waterbuck are coming super close to the camera. They're normally quite nervous and they stay across the other side. I'm sure they can sense this camera is moving maybe. And look at that. I'll never forget when someone pointed out to me that waterbuck have heart-shaped noses. I do feel like they're looking straight at the camera. Of course, animals are much more perceptive to things like movement or frequencies than us humans, or than most of us humans. Lovely big male at the back there. But I definitely think these waterbuck are probably slightly browner than those ellipsan waterbuck we see further south. It's amazing how nature ensures this geographic different animals, so no one is normally crossing over anyone else's niche. Stella, that's an interesting question. What do divisive waterbuck smell like? I've never smelt one, Stella. I've only seen them briefly once in Rwanda, but I know what ellipsan waterbuck smell like. I've smelt ellipsan waterbuck many times, and assuming they smell similar, which they may not. It's almost like a musky, almost along the lines of, you know, that dreadful smell when you've accidentally left washing in the washing machine too long. It's sort of like got that musty, almost like a silly, sweet, musty smell. That's what ellipsan waterbuck smell like, especially the males. They've got sort of a sebaceous a gland, sort of waxy solution, and it is quite whiffy, especially if I found it quite noticeable if they cross the road, especially in the mornings. You will get a waft of that sort of musky sort of smell. But I've never smelt a divisive waterbuck. Gorgeous chestnut. Ah, look at you, you pretty thing. They're actually in lovely light now. Now they're further into the water here. Look at this young boy. And look, that looks like an artist has sort of etched his nose with a sort of bright white brush, just circling his heart-shaped nose. Surveying his family group here, this boy on the right hand side. and that everyone's hanging around here today much longer than they normally do. Again, apologies if we've been having a few tech issues today. I think there's bugs in the system. It's the time of year. Maybe little summer bugs have been infiltrating our tech today. So thank you for persevering with us. Zebra are constantly flicking those tails. To keep those flies at bay. It is a fairly instinctive response. They don't spend their day thinking, must wag the tail, must wag the tail. It's just to keep those flies away. They would drive me absolutely crazy. I do still struggle, despite having been here for so very many years. I'm not a fan of having flies buzzing around my face. I still haven't quite got used to that. Enjoying this lovely grass around the pan. What a great spot for everyone though. Everyone's got some food, got some water. Oh, and there's a lovely kingfisher just flown up there. That looked like a woodlands kingfisher to me. Just landed on that dead tree at the top there. These kids are calling like crazy at the moment, certainly around here. It's constant. They must be exhausted by the end of the day. I'm sure they're all ready to have a good sleep, all these males, by the end of the day. Erica Oldknow just joined. Welcome, Erica Oldknow. Thank you for being here. My Mamba saga from yesterday, I didn't really find it, but to be totally honest, I didn't really go looking. I did put a terrible clip of my Mamba searching attempts on my Instagram, but I didn't really get a visual of it, and I didn't really go looking, to be honest, Erica. It's just a reminder that we need to be so careful. It's an absolute pleasure and a joy living in wildlife areas. But you can, things like snakes and scorpions, you can get a little bit complacent. It's actually the first time I've seen a mamba here since I've been here. But they're here, and it's just a good reminder that you need to be vigilant. I've seen some enormous Parabuthus scorpions, but I do try and stay vigilant, as most of us do. If it's night time, always walk with a torch, even if you're wearing closed shoes, because everything was here first. We're very fortunate to be able to share our environment with these animals. But no, Erica, I don't know where it went. I'm just gonna stay vigilant and keep the doors and stuff closed, I guess. Oh wow, look at this image of this spoonbill. How crazy is nature, designing a perfect attached tool for investigations, dabbling into the water. But yeah, don't know where the mamba went. Hopefully far away and outside. Look, and a perfect demonstration of exactly how that wonderful tool is used. It's amazing how all these birds, they all develop such unique, different techniques and methods. Their beaks, I never know whether or not to call them beaks or bills. Actually, I'm gonna throw it open to the crowd. Do you call them beaks or bills? I can never decide, and I've tried to research before what they technically should be called, and I couldn't really find an answer. So if anyone has a preference why, please do share it with us. but they all develop different beak shapes for different feeding styles, different food resources. Nature is amazing. Let us know, beaks or bills? Let's see who calls them what. Or if anyone knows of a scientific reason for calling them one or the other. Again, you're welcome to let me know. Lira, you're saying the sun made those zebra stripes look brown. It's amazing the different impact that light can have on colour. It wasn't until I moved here and started attempting to really badly take photos of things I realised how important lighting was. That marabou stalk there gave us another demonstration of bill use or beak use. I've grown quite fond of marabou stalks at the moment. I'm enjoying them. It was actually watching them at the Vulture project camera that we have that not swung my opinions. I enjoyed their characters. They've got, I find these things have got quite a lot of character. And ladies, you say bill for waterbirds or otherwise beaks. That's a really interesting point. I've never quite known. See now with this marabou bee. See that, for me, looking at that bird, that's a beak. It doesn't feel like a bill. But a sunbird, maybe. To me, a sunbird, it would be a bill. Maybe it's how heavily set they are. Birds. See, that's never a bill. They're substantial. It's a beak. That's very much just personal opinion. Anyone? Okay, Andrew UK, you're also saying waterbirds have bills and the rest have beaks. Also, query. Don't know. I don't know the site, but that would make sense. But I just feel like a sunbird would have a bill. Sunbird, the beak of a sunbird, or something like a grass bird. There's the bill. See, a hummingbird couldn't possibly have a beak, could it? Yeah, Steve. That is indeed your name. You would say bill is more wide and beak is more thin. Yeah, see, I don't know. That's a really interesting perspective as well. I feel like it's sort of shape, what would just come naturally. Julian Thomas, my East African bird assistant, you say you tend to use bill, but neither is wrong. Most bird names that refer to it use bill. Long-billed, yeah, long-billed crombeck. Southern yellow-billed hornbill. Red-billed firefinch. Red-billed... Ah, that's really interesting. Well pointed out, Julian Thomas. The names do call them... Can we think of any bird names that is a something beaked something? I can't. Erica Oldner, you're saying that experts seem to call them bills. I just use both. So do I, Erica. Beak, bill. But the things on the front of those marabou stalks' faces just don't feel like bills to me. Bill sounds too delicate. Honey Badger, you're saying you use bills for duck types. Duck types. Yeah, a duck. See, it's even a duck-billed platypus. There are no... I'm trying to think of something in science that uses the word beak. But honey badger, interesting again. swaying towards the water birds' bills and beaks on others. See, don't we think these marabou storks look like they've got character, personality? They'd probably be quite grouchy, I think. Julian Thomas, the only one you can think of is from South America, the silver-beaked tanager or tanager. Common names, yes, Lady Macbeth, common names are often inaccurate. Look at the Egyptian goose or the red-tailed hawk, for instance. There are lots of strange bird names. There have been many discussions around more changes to bird names, common names. Recently, I know they're lumping the two kites, the black kite and the yellow-billed kite, in together. But that is what change is about. But no, common names are a tricky one in many areas of science. Maybe the bill is for larger prey. Maybe. The ponderings of word usage in science is long and protracted. I saw something stated the other day about the renaming of birds again. Where was it?
My name is Amy, and behind the camera with me is Paul. And I mean, to be able to share it with all of you. Fingers crossed, and I'll make sure I wear my lucky leopard socks as well.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Would you like to know at what age a buffalo calf gets its horns? These are questions that you can ask me in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
There's some ellies that we're approaching now.
The light on her as well is absolutely gorgeous.
So we are going to enjoy the rest of this sunset.
Wow, this is absolutely crazy.
And thank you for joining us. For myself and Cam, we will see you next time.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
I'm going to check exact stalk numbers for you now. Certainly in southern Africa. So these are indeed yellow-billed storks. So southern African birds, there are 7 named storks. It's close with 8. Let's head across to Oliphants. There's some lovely birding here at Victoria Falls. Very, very nice seeing all these birds together. Out of all of these, I'm still quite partial to the male. Oh wow, elephant pool party on the river. Wildlife lady, you're saying beaks or bills are both suitable, but you believe water birds is most likely to be bills, beaks for smaller birds, seed eaters and birds of prey, etc. Erica Oldno, does it mean that yellow-billed kite and the black kite are exactly the same? Erica, it means that science has decided that we are now calling them the same thing. I have never managed to identify a black kite. They do look different to me. I'm actually looking at them, but science has spoken. They are both from the Milvus family with different groupings on the subspecies, but now they're not going to be. That is all I can tell you. It's coming from far above my pay. This Oliphants River is looking amazing at the moment. You can see how deep it is. Those elephants are very close to the bank. They might be sort of kneeling down a little bit, but there's good water flow. You can see how well that river is flowing. I drove across that river where the Shalati, close to the Shalati Bridge is, the day before yesterday, and the low water bridge is still easily accessible, or you can still cross it quite easily, but the times are changing, and I don't think it's going to be long before we're seeing some really quite strong rivers running through the Kruger here, especially this Oliphants. You can see how strong it's flowing. It's lovely when all the rivers start their summer seasons, and you can see that, oh, that's a very small elephant there. Be careful, small elephant at the back there. These bigger ones have got a bit more, but you see even these elephants are getting moved around a bit by this water. Oh, careful, small one. Ooh. Oh crikey, where did that little elephant just go? Oh, I would like to see where that small elephant just went. Is that... Oh, look. Oh, be careful. Oh, I don't like the look of this much. I hope that adult... See, both of those ones that were still brown have now gone in. I'm assuming... Oh, this is... I'd like to see that little one come out. It looks like they're all coming out now. But let's see if these bigger elephants have possibly even purposely turned sideways. See, look, it looks like they're quite grouped together there. Where did that small one go? Is that it there? I'm sure these elephants know what they're doing, but that I would not want my small elephant in that river. Look how fast that's moving, that water. There it is, there it is, there it is. Oh, look, look, look. I just like to hang on here just for a second and see if I can work out where that small elephant went. I'm sure it's fine. Right, I'm sure these elephants know what they're doing, and I didn't see that little one float off down the river, so I'm sure it's in the middle there. Let's go across to, I think it was Naledi. I think we might have some more birds across there. Yeah, that little one must be in amidst all those grown-ups there. That is something. It looks like it's at the bottom of a possible red-billed buffalo weaver nest. Wildlife lady, yes. Lovely to see those elephants in there. A little bit stressful though. I wouldn't let my little elephant in there. And that water is indeed flowing incredibly fast. I don't know what this is at the moment. I just heard a starling, if that helps. It looks like something at the bottom of a red-billed buffalo weaver nest, or... It could be a frog. That is an excellent shout. I do see that slight movement there. It would, if we could see what this was and where it was, it might, I suppose, if it's in a tree above water, I might support the frog theory. But it is sort of, oh wait, it is a frog. Okay, I've got it. I can see its little leg now. Yes, I've got it. It's a frog. Well done, Zoomies. It's looking left. That pale area looks like it's sort of fluttering under the chin. And I can see its little, it's a little fat frog. I can see its little front leg there now. Okay, that helps. I think I saw 3 different types of frog yesterday. Bunzi P, you're also supporting foam nest frog. Okay, that's brilliant. I can see that fluttering throat patch now. Nice little, excuse me, nice little shady spot this frog's found. Frogs are, of course, a sign of a nice healthy ecosystem. Lots of amphibians, their skin is very sensitive and prone to their sensitive things. They don't have much protection from the environment. Their skin is thin and not very protective, and it's definitely a sign of a healthy ecosystem. Lots of amphibians. I remember when I was a kid there used to be lots of newts in England, and not so much now, sadly. Okay, Francis Stapleberg, thank you very much for your help. Leroy is also saying going on in the image there, but I concur. Everyone is agreeing that we have a frog in a tree, which is pretty cool. And our baboons back at Lentoro. Nice and peaceful here today. There was various dramas occurring. I think it was here yesterday. We had our monkeys and baboons had a little bit of an interaction. I'm sure it was here. Now we've also been watching for that young vervet monkey who may not have full-time maternal care, for want of a better phrase. I really enjoy this low-level camera here. And we're gonna get some baboon intimacy. There looks like some interest going on there, but maybe not. That's interesting. That didn't look like intimacy to me. That actually looked like a more play, sort of bonding type behaviour. So we were talking about it the other day that who was? Oh no, it was actually on a group. Someone shared a clip of a lioness mounting a male lion. And there was lots of discussions around why that might be happening. I know from dog work that often we call it humping behaviour, for want of a better phrase. That apparently sexual behaviour is very much not always sexual. With domestic dogs, it can be a form of it often happens when dogs are feeling over-aroused, over-excited. Sometimes when they're not quite sure how to handle a situation, a bit frustrated, they will show that mounting behaviour almost because they don't really know what else to do with themselves. People often think it's dominance or something like that, and it most definitely is not. And this is the feedback I gave on this lioness. I would have liked to see the behaviour that started or that was happening before she mounted, but that mounting or humping behaviour is not always sexual at all, and that's what it looked like to me just then when that happened with that much smaller baboon. Looked like apparently mounted the bigger one. It's not a sexual act. It's just communication. It's behaviour. Could have been caused for a multitude of reasons. People always assume that it's all just about sexual behaviour or dominance, and it's most definitely not. So if you've ever seen your dog starts humping or something when you come in the door, they're just overexcited and they don't quite know how to handle themselves. It's nothing to do with them trying to dominate you when you get home. Loads of really interesting similarities actually in the behaviour of many. Well, a mammal is a mammal is a mammal. So while obviously they are different, mammalian brains all have lots of similarities, all the way from rodents and things all the way up through the primates and all the way to humans. Brain structure can be surprisingly similar. Same but different. This is much more relaxed here than it was yesterday. There was lots of pushing and shoving and shouting and running around yesterday. But it all looks very peaceful. These baboons spend a lot of time here at this waterhole. And why wouldn't they? Lots of social dynamics in play. I can hear some hornbills in the background as well. Oh, that's a big baboon. Always assessing. Someone's often keeping an eye out. So these olive baboons, we normally see three types. With baboons, we see the Chacma baboons in South Africa, down in the Lowveld. These are olive baboons. And we also see yellow baboons up at Aldonio. And I actually heard someone saying the other day, I always thought that olive baboons were bigger than Chacma baboons. Interesting. That baboon just stared straight in the face of the other. That was possibly, if that's not an invitation, I'm not sure what is. That was a proper eye stare then. Can you see me? Can you see me? And then that presentation of the posterior. But I heard someone saying that Chacma baboons actually weigh more than olive baboons, and olive baboons are more fur. But actually, I'm actually gonna have a look and see which of those is correct while I'm here. So I'm going to cheat. I haven't got my full sub-Saharan mammal book here. I know olive baboons certainly look bigger than Chacma baboons. So these olive baboons, I think, are similar in size to the Chacma baboons. Weigh up to 40 kilograms. And the yellow baboons are the smallest. I think the olive baboons are fluffier, so maybe gives them the appearance of being bigger.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. I grew up mostly in the Lowveld. I grew up here pretty much on the southern side of Kruger National Park, a place called Marlow Park, for most of my years. Something surprising about myself, I did play drums in a band for many years. Best sighting I presented, we found Palumba in the 2 cubs, and the cubs are just way big.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
We are here with a male leopard.
Out of those yellows, the olives and the chakmas. I always thought olive baboons looked physically bigger than the chakmas, but apparently not. Every day is a school day. But thank you for that. You're saying, you suggest the Galada is the biggest baboon species. Thank you for your suggestion. I'm finding it very difficult to not compare this to a family scene. This could well be a family scene, but we don't really know. But it's possible. But you can see the huge difference there between the size of the females and the males, and she's got a very young baby, still very dark. And it's incredible how they cling through so much. You know, they're jumping and they're running. That instinct to stay stuck to mum is very, very strong. Erica Oldner, you're saying you wish you had hornbills down there in the Western Cape. I sometimes... Oh! What was that? That looked like she said, no, don't touch my baby. They are quite widespread. We've got a few different species of hornbills we see here. But they are great to see. I'm sorry you don't see them down there. They actually, that sounded a bit more like a grey hornbill calling, but I'm not even sure if they're distributed up here. Such a diverse bird species, all the way from, you know, the smaller hornbills right up to those fabulous southern ground hornbills. We also get trumpeter hornbills here, which are that very distinctive call of it is that it just sounds just like a crying baby. Is that baby even suckling? It looks like oh, look at those teeth. It's like it's fallen asleep. Is it alright? Those monkeys and baboons have been stressing me out a bit here at Toro. There was that young vervet recently. Wow. These really do have ginormous teeth. Is this baby just fallen asleep suckling? Oh yes, there we go. Okay. Swapping sides. Brilliant. I think that little one was just drinking there and just nodded off mid-lunch. No, and we're off. I almost feel on this camera that I'm sort of part of this baboon troop. Nice low-level cameras, but let's leave these guys to finish their lunchtime snacks and go across to Tembe and see if our nice relaxed elephant bulls are still sharing those paddle puddles so nicely. And they are. It literally looks like they're just taking it in turns to go in here and put some mud on, and then they're rotating for the next guy to come in. I'm looking forward to seeing all of these filled up again. As I'm sure all these animals are as well. These lovely muddy puddles will be used by everyone from elephants all the way down through to warthogs. There we go, look. Someone was asking yesterday if elephants also sploot. We watched a splooting rhino and a splooting warthog yesterday. They don't sploot. There we go. Someone asked yesterday if there are splooting elephants. One splooted elephant in the mud. Penelope Kenyon. Oh, Penelope Kenyon, if I'd known we were in the middle of a lesson, I might have adjusted things, but probably not. I'm so glad that we were able to be part of a grade 2 lesson. If you are still tuned in, thank you everyone in class for listening so beautifully, I'm sure. You are the conservationists of the future. Stay inquiring and stay excited about nature. If you're listening, sploot is a word I made up. That is not scientifically correct. To me, it's just something laid down in mud. Anyone that says adult elephants don't lay down, there we go. Evidence otherwise. This is actually perfect for an elephant. It's on a nice little slope, nice little incline. Make it much easier to get up. But this elephant doesn't look like he's got any plans to get up anytime soon, and why would he? we are just about out of time for today. Thank you all so much for joining us. Apologies for occasional bugs in our tech today. Oh, lovely. I think that's a brilliant idea. Let's go back to that rock where we started the show. That was a perfectly formed baboon poo. And it was being rapidly dismantled, and it's gone. Perfectly formed, complete baboon poo here at the start of the show. It is no longer present. There were at least 20 dung beetles here at the start of the show. There was fighting, there was arrivals, there was departures, there was rolling, there was squabbles, there was dung beetles flipped upside down that couldn't stand up. It was all going off. But now there is nothing. It just goes to show how perfect nature is and how it is able to manage the redistribution of poop and seeds so quickly and efficiently. If only humans were so quick and efficient to remove waste. They really do an excellent job of keeping the bush tidy. So thank you all for being here. Apologies for any bugs in our system. It must be the rain. Bugs come out in the rain. But we appreciate you all persevering. Hopefully we will see you again, same time tomorrow. I will be back. Until then, take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.